Hey everyone, Gavin Lance Topp here. I'm here with an amazing man, Andrew. Thanks for jumping on today, mate.
My pleasure, mate. I'm glad to be here.
This is going to be an amazing interview. So, you guys that are watching, listen carefully and please, any questions, put them in the chat. But Andrew is an amazing father, he's an amazing husband. He's got an amazing business that is growing online, offline, mate. And probably one of the things that really caught my attention with you, you've got a heart to help others, to serve others, which is, hey, I mean, for me, I don't come across that every day, mate. As I said, thanks for jumping on. But what I'd love is that, remember when we first met and then you jumped in and you done the Become a Better Man challenge, mate? Can I ask you, like, what happened there?
It's quite a good little story, really. We're at my place in Yeppoon here in Queensland, and my wife's father and her stepmother had come up to visit us. And we were on the veranda just having a bit of a chat about life and all the sort of different things that were going on and the difficulties of being a parent and also the difficulties of business. And he mentioned to me, he said, "You need to meet this guy called Gavin Topp." I said, "Who's that?" And he said, "I'll just message him." He said, "And you can meet him." And so he had a real understanding of what I needed, because at the time I did it. And of course, one thing led to another. And I think we introduced ourselves through Messenger. And you just said to me straight off the bat, you're like, "We're doing a 4-day challenge. It's coming up soon." I think it was within a week, I think, after we started talking. And you said, "You need to jump on." Don't know what it was, but I thought, all right, challenge is on. Let's go. And it was through that journey of just the introduction and also through another man introducing me to another man. And I think that's the big crux of what it is with the challenge for me. It was introduction to the next phase of your growth in life. Really.
Yeah. And I think Lloyd Ross Sr. is just, in my eyes, I'm sure is just an absolute icon, a legend.
Absolutely.
And this is God's honest truth. Literally 2 hours ago, a bloke reached out to me and I said, "Oh, like trying to find out, how did you get in touch with me?" Lloyd Sr. How good is this guy?
He's a weapon.
So, like even what you said then, he could see something in you. Hey, so he point you in the right direction. That's what great men do. They look out for others, and that's just Lloyd Senior all over.
Yep.
So all day, every day, he's looking out for others, and man, it's amazing. So you jumped in, did the challenge. I suppose that's courage and having faith in not just in Lloyd, but in me as well. Hey, go this direction, do that. What did you see or hear that's like, all right, I'm in?
The things for me was I was sitting on the fence a bit at the time with my faith. And this is something that is not a common conversation I've found out there in the industry that I'm in with select groups. And there might be a lot of other people out there that are in that same sort of boat.
Yeah.
It's not a conversation that people are open to having that much. And then what I noticed when we went into the challenge, and it wasn't the biggest thing that got me, was when we talked about it in the chat, it was leveling up in your family, business, and faith. And the first two, leveling up in the family, I'd gone through a separation prior to us going through the challenge. And then, so I had a lot of leveling up to do in the family. Then I had the business. I was 2.5 years in, 3 years into a business that I just started as a diesel mechanic in the mines in Queensland. And so the challenges around that, there was a lot of questions that were left unanswered, a lot of things I didn't know.
Can I ask, like, what? Because I know we hear a lot of men like who workaholic, or just not even workaholic, but just don't know when to split the two between family and
Exactly.
What is that? Was that you? Was it?
Yeah, 100%. That is a major part. And this will speak to a lot of other men that are watching this right now that are in that same stage in their life, because they will work themselves to death because all of your eggs are in that basket. You put yourself on the line to start this new venture, and all you're doing is trying to make it succeed to the point where you sometimes self-sabotage because you don't have that rest period. And that's one of the massive things I learned from that challenge. You have to be accountable for yourself, and you have to make room for the creative part of your business and your future to develop, because if you don't, you're just going to grind away forever.
Yeah. And I suppose, mate, can I ask, Because it's like you had the VIP experience. You're watching the videos and then being able to ask questions or get some conversation. What was that like, I suppose, going through each day? Do you remember when we went through the first day, we went through What's Your Enemy?
Yeah. Being able to ask the questions and then put it forward to the group, it educated me on just how important it is to have a community
Yeah.
of like-minded people. And you hear a lot of people say these days, you need to get a good mentor or you need to have a good group where you have some good mates that you can
Yeah.
confide in. And what I got out of it was things like the first day of the course was it asked me a lot of questions, and that's not something I really I had a lot of practice with. I
Yeah.
hadn't been
Okay.
asked a lot of questions and those sort of things, and I had asked those questions of myself. So when we
Yeah.
went through it, what's your enemy? And being a little bit vulnerable as well at the time, you had to psychoanalyze yourself, and then you also had to become comfortable with expressing those answers to other people and finding out that a lot of them are going through the same thing you are.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
became a great community. And then the questions just helped that self-analysis side of things. Who's slowing you down? 90% of the time, self.
And I suppose, like I always say, maybe people are watching for the first time, they've never heard of the Become a Better Man Challenge. And this is what I always like to say at the start is, hey, we're going to talk about principles, facts. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about leveling up, stepping up. And sometimes I'll reference things to the Bible because it's that truth. Like it's
It's
been
relevant.
around for
Yeah,
thousands of years.
exactly.
So, how did you go when I was talking through some biblical stories and principles? What was that like for you?
I think that when we started to get into the references to the Bible, it resonated a lot because I've had a bit of a Christian upbringing within my family. And
Yeah,
so it helped to uncover a bit more of the truths behind the scriptures. But
yeah,
even stepping back from that and thinking about it now that I've done the challenge, a
yeah,
lot of those things that we talked about are relevant in just your everyday life.
yeah,
And that's what I found resonated with me. So even those guys that weren't so much or aren't that much Christians or devout or just don't even know how to approach that side of things,
yeah,
the scriptures speak to you in all sorts of different ways, and there's relevance found in all of them, and
yeah.
whether you be a practicing man of faith or not. And
Mm,
for me, it just completely opened up the gates. Like I've said before, I was a bit on the fence there. I didn't really know how to get back into my faith, how to connect back with God,
yeah.
and then just joining the challenge, it was just a kick up the bum that got me going. It was awesome.
And I suppose, like day three, when we talk about your tribe community, do you remember us going through that? What was that like?
The tribe and community aspect was really good because it made me stop and think about who are the people that are around me at the
Mm,
time, or who do I spend most of my time around, and who is my self-professed tribe, and are they the
yeah,
best ones for me? And that's a
yeah,
difficult
okay.
question
Yeah.
to answer sometimes. Sometimes the answer to that is not what you want. And
Mm,
so having that realization and that inner look at who are my people? Are they the ones that are there for me? Are they giving me the best? Are they supporting me the most?
yeah.
Those things are super important because
Mm,
one thing I've learned in starting business is that community and networking, it
yeah,
is the secret sauce to success. Without
yeah,
it, you can't succeed because the world's way too big and heavy to try and bear alone. It's definitely a thing where you need the help of
yeah.
other great people.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'm just thinking of a couple of blokes here where they're just cheering you on,
Oh,
cheering like you can do it.
yeah,
And I suppose, which is great. All you want to do is cheer others on. We get better together,
yeah,
not on your own.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
mate, just quickly, like you mentioned earlier in the call when we talked about that creativity, when we get into the fourth day, we either compete or you create. What was that like? I suppose touching on that.
Oh, it absolutely smacked me from the like freight train, that one, because compete or create. When you think about those two words on their own, are you going to compete with everybody else, or are you going to create something that no one else has done? And
Wow,
so
that's
thinking about it, we've spent most of our life competing. We
yeah,
compete in every aspect that we do. We're either in an employed position where we're competing with others to do the same job to try and get a better pay, try and get a better perks, or we're out there competing in just everyday general life, trying to keep up with the Joneses. But we
yeah,
don't do that much creating. you don't know what your full purpose is in life
Mm.
until you've been given that key to unlock the door of your creativity. And
Yeah.
there's tools that are involved in how you do that. And that's what I got most out of that challenge was I got a glimpse to all the tools that are available to how to
Yeah.
unlock that creativity. And then it's just the practice aspect after that. It was, it was enlightening.
But if I can say, mate, what you did was, I think, extraordinary. You just, like say, you get all these ideas. How can I implement them? How fast can I implement them?
Yeah.
And I think that was amazing watching you. And even shortly after the challenge, how you said, hang on, what about this? What about that? I thought that was terrific, mate.
Yeah.
And that's a testimony to your character. Like you say, you were on the fence. Now you've dived off the fence.
Yeah. Yeah. And such a great feeling too, not having that doubt and that
Mm.
worry and, oh, am I doing it? Is this the right thing? When you're going in the right direction and you got the support behind you,
Yeah.
it's just a different type of life. Yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose with you having a couple of sons and obviously a wife and what, I mean, because I always say about leveling up in your family, I always say, as a man and we're getting better, we're living our life on purpose, on mission, others have got to benefit from it. Otherwise, it's not going to work long term or short. So, mate, how have they benefited from you, I suppose, leveling up?
Definitely have gained a real sense of clarity. The family is a lot more clear on what does dad do and what is dad doing. I think if you go and ask my kids now, so what does your dad do? They won't hesitate. They can tell you straight away. Like dad's a mechanic that owns a business in the mind that wants to go out and help young apprentices move into the industry because there's not enough. It doesn't get any more straightforward than that.
Yeah.
Go back sort of 6 months ago before we even started really doing this, and they would have just said, oh, dad fixes stuff. But the clarity that comes with it, the leadership is when you're doing something, when you're on mission and you're doing something of purpose, it's magnetic. It brings everybody in and you talk about it more confidently. You act it out in your everyday life. It's that old saying, if you want to be the thing, you do the thing. And so, yeah, great clarity around what we want to do and where we want to go as a family together is what I see has happened with my kids. With my wife, it's pulled us together. It's immeasurable, to be honest.
Wow.
But the difference that when we first got married, we knew what we wanted in the long term. But the thing is, how do you get from there, from A to B? That's a whole journey. And then having that clarity around mission and purpose and leading your family in the direction that you find as a noble, worthy cause, they become that community of supporters. They're there. My wife has helped me immensely in the last, well, since I've started since I finished the challenge. She's done so much for the business. She's in the business now. She runs all of our payroll, takes care of all of our administration. She's looking into the website side of things. She's developing the online space for us. And it's all a synergy. And that's the secret source of leadership as a man in a family.
Well, I think, mate, from what if I can butt in there, like you said, all right, this is where we're going. This is the mission. So, all right, let's do it together. That's what leaders do.
Yeah.
Rather than how many men do you know, they go, the wife says to them, what are we going to do? And they go, I don't know. Or, oh, they stop nagging with their craving. And I think that's true. Our children, our wives are craving a direction, a clear direction that is inspiring to everyone. And that's what you've done, mate.
Yeah.
That's what you've done. You've stepped up.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I suppose we've got to thank your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way, this is a tribe. This is a mature man saying to younger fellas, hey, listen, step up, son.
Yeah, exactly.
In an encouraging way. You need to beat this guy.
Yeah.
So, mate, terrific. Thank you for doing that, for stepping up.
It's my pleasure, mate. Well, thank you for everything that you guys have done and developed. It's made my life so much better.
Yeah.
I can't thank everyone enough.
Yeah. Now, we're just at the start, mate. Hey, we've got the next challenge coming up. What would you say to some blokes that'll maybe like you, sitting on the fence?
If you're one of them guys like me and you're just not quite sure and you were sitting on the fence, it comes down to that question you got to ask yourself. Am I going to stay the same or am I going to change? And don't doubt that change part of it. You might think change for the worse. It is not. Change for the better. And it comes with one decision. It's just one simple locked in decision. Say, I'm going to do this. I don't care what comes out, but I'm going to do it. And I think if you have the courage, if you've got the courage to make that decision and say to yourself, I'm going to give it a go. It might not be for you. It might not be the most amazing experience you've ever had. It might be the thing that changes your life. It might be the thing that changes everybody that you are close to, changes their life. You got to weigh that up. For me, it was a no-brainer. I thought, I looked at the program and I was like, I can see this challenge is going to push me in ways where I have to be accountable. I have to admit fault and I have to look at myself and I have to challenge myself. And then I said to myself, I'm going to do it. I don't care. It has to happen. Every man gets to a point in their life where they're left searching and looking and wondering, what's next? What do I do? If you're feeling aimless, this is what you need to do. You need to make that decision. That would be my advice to the men that sit there, because we all psychoanalyze it in our heads. We all mull it over and we think, I'm a bit busy on the weekend. That means I've got to give this up, got to do that. Yes, you might, but if you don't, will you stay the same or will you change?
Yeah. Bless you, mate. So good. So good to listen to you. All right. Well, any questions, leave them in the comments. Give this bloke some encouragement. He stepped up and you did it, and you've reaped a reward and continue to reap the reward, and your family as well. Really appreciate you taking the time, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gavin.